The government and aid agencies are in a race against time as a looming famine threatens to make an already bad situation worse. More than 700,000 hectares of crop fields were destroyed by the raging flood waters following the Cyclone Idai. One of the worst affected areas is Buzi in central Mozambique. And as our correspondent Robert Nagila reports, logistical challenges are hampering humanitarian efforts in the area.
Amelia Zinaramwe has toiled on this land in Buzi for the last 3 decades. She was getting ready to harvest her maize crop when Cyclone Idai and the floods that followed destroyed her home and her crops.
I am suffering. I don't have any food or a place to sleep, not even seedlings to replant.
Slowly, she uproots sweet potato leaves. It's all she can afford to put on the dinner table. The residents who own these farms are small-scale farmers who depend on their crop for sustenance. It was just about ready for harvest when it was swept away by the floods, a situation replicated across this entire region. This is all that's left. The remainder shredded by the raging floods across more than 1.7 million acres. Livestock too were not spared. Aid agencies are warning of a looming famine as a result.
80% of the people in this region are relying on these crops or fishery, which has been basically wiped out.
The UN says close to 1 million people from affected areas have already received food assistance, with a further 10,000 on daily food rations. But it's a race against time. Not everyone in the affected areas in central Mozambique has received humanitarian assistance due to lack of access.
There are a lot of challenges. Logistics is a very difficult issue. There are still many areas that can only be accessible by helicopter or not even a landing land. So the roads are being cleared since the disaster happened, but there's still a lot of places that cannot be accessible. Communications are also an issue.
In places like Buzi, one of the worst affected areas, aid has begun arriving. Thousands of residents from here were evacuated earlier to makeshift camps in Beira. For many, like Amelia, who stayed behind, help cannot come fast enough. It will be the difference between life and death. Robert Nagila, CGTN, Buzi, Mozambique.